good, y'all? Welcome everybody to the Backstop. I'm Paulie Jackson.
And I'm Bruce Maxwell.
And today's guest this week, we got on, we got Jacob Blake, my brother, entrepreneur, a pillar in the social justice movement, just a father of many, and just an overall opening and good dude. Bro, we appreciate you for coming on with us and spending some time to chop it up.
I'm happy I was able to get in here, man. You know, it's been a rough year for me, man. Real rough. Not just for me, for everybody. Honestly, around the world, I don't know what is going on, but I've been sitting back watching it nonstop.
Something in the air, huh?
Yeah, some dark forces, dog. We can't see it. It's out here.
Oh, for sure,
but
man. So, but hey, man, I want to say, just from my perspective, first of all, it's finally great to meet you, even though it's on the computer. It's finally great to meet you, man. All the happenings that affected you, Paulie, your family, your community in general, and our whole country is it's something respectable, and it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I really hope that you see that your strength and fortitude to keep coming back and to keep fighting is it's inspiring. And so my first question for you personally is, A, how the hell you doing? And B, how are you feeling when you're seeing, like, yes, it's unfortunate, but what happened to you? How are you feeling when you're seeing this, our people coming together and putting their differences aside for the most part, to rally behind each other and to start pushing for more governmental issues to be passed, to be fixed, to stand for what's right? I mean, how are you feeling about all this, man?
It's definitely a lot to take in. My brother, he out here playing offense and defense for me, as well as you. It's like the whole world is. It's a team effort, most definitely. With, like how you mentioned, everybody coming together. We will not be able to do it alone. We have to stand together. What is it? Standing in solidarity. We need each other. Everybody is trying to figure out how to pyramid go. The whole world at once upon a time had interest in that.
Mm-hmm.
Going through school, if they had the chance, but it took a lot of people to do that. And that is something that's been around for so long. Longer than everybody watching, each and every one of us, but we still trying to figure out. It's so simple. People, we did this together. They had to do it together. There were no aliens, none of that silliness, man. They did that together. Just like everything that we have built out here. Even if people weren't paid correctly, treated correctly, everything that we see here, we do it together. Your baseball team, I guarantee you all those players were standing behind you when you did what you did. They were probably struck. They probably couldn't breathe, but they still stood behind you. And they still stand behind you, I guarantee you that. But my point is, y'all cannot win games alone. Takes a team.
Bruce, you want to elaborate on that?
Well, first of all, appreciate that. Second of all, before I did what I did, I mean, I did it the right way. You know, I had meetings with my manager, I had a meeting with our general manager, I had a meeting with my team, and before the day even kicked off, you know, because I didn't want to catch anybody off guard. and I explained to them, what I grew up in. I explained to them why I wanted to do what I was doing, and all of the pros and cons that I knew that would come with it. It was heartfelt. It was emotional, because at that moment, like, I realized that I wasn't here just to play baseball. I've grown up, and my dad always told me, like, no matter what comes your way, keep your head down and keep it pushing, because I couldn't do nothing about it. I mean, my whole life, I was the only black dude on my team. Like, and coming from where I come from, like, black folks don't play baseball, not for real, not in my city. Like, if you go down to Birmingham or Montgomery, where the population's a little more dense when it comes to the black population, yeah, you find black guys that play baseball, but not in Huntsville, where I'm from, and not when I was growing up. And so it was more so like I had to have just this armor every day, even as a child, like, from the racial slurs to the looks to the you don't belong here to all these things, man. And I dealt with that, in college. I went to a predominantly white school, like, and I was the only black dude on my baseball team. Like, and we're talking, I was 18, 19, 20 years old. And so, yeah, man, it's just, when I did that, dude, I was so passionate about it. And what set me off, man, was, which pushed me over the edge, man. Like, our president at the time with Trump, he had that rally in Huntsville, Alabama, where I'm from. And, he called out the football players and called them sons of bitches because they were peacefully protesting a cause that was bigger than them and bigger than the game. And to see and to watch that people from my city applauding him and just calling human beings out of their names, he don't even know them, but doing it in a peaceful way, it showed me that all of that wasn't about the protest. It was about who was protesting, and not about the meaning, not about the cause, but who. Like, we could talk about this all day, bro. People still found a way to hate Kaepernick when Kaepernick sought advice from a military veteran to do it the best way he could. And they still found a way. So when it comes down to it, it's more so about who was protesting, not what they were protesting.
Especially you coming from a military family, you know what I mean?
Bro, I called my pops and I told him. And he was
gonna do it. And how did he feel about it?
My dad was like, I'm right here behind you. I get it. Like, my dad had to do the same thing, bro. My mama had to deal with it growing up with mixed kids. Where I'm from, they were calling her nigger lovers and shit. Like, that's how it was, bro. Like, that's how it was, man. Like,
it's messed up.
End of the day, that was my environment. And it's hard because when we talk about, like, the black community and especially young men, like, a lot of black kids grow up with identity issues and therefore it leads to them succumbing to their surroundings, to being whatever they are surrounded with, and not really realizing that, like, they have another way out. You know what I'm saying? So, going into that, like, and it kind of rolls into what I want to talk to you about fatherhood, about being a role model as a black man, like, still bouncing back after, this unfortunate happening of that happened to you and your family. Like, how much more important, if not the same, is your presence in your fatherhood for you?
It's one of the most important roles in history. And what I mean by that is because as a father, we really only have one father. It's Father God. And we are what we are supposed to refer to as earthly fathers. We are basically, our kids look up to us like we are God. And it is okay for us to carry ourselves as so. It's the only way for us to be that role model our children need to succeed. And you can go down the line and ask a lot of successful men and women. Sometimes they come from broken households. Some of us do, but we still become successful. It could be just one person. But fathers, when you do have your father, and you have a father that carries himself like the father, and he's not just a daddy or, you know what I'm talking about. You can make someone else's life just as good as your own child by being a father. Mm. People around the world, from what we are doing, people are going to find out, might make them want to be a better father.
You've shown,
it's so heavy. It's such an important role. I mean, that's what I do. That's what I was doing before this.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning. Well, I wouldn't wake up. I already be up because I get off work at 4 a.m. I was working armed security. I get up. My kids, they see me in the morning. Eyes, they happy to see daddy. I made it back home safe. So I get them up, get them to school, daycare, try to get me some sleep, get up, get them from school or daycare, whether it's the summertime, and get them home, bathe them, read to them. My kids are very intelligent. They can do an interview with you. And they will. I'll allow them to do one day. Very soon.
They got some things to tell.
We could talk all day about how important fatherhood is. We really could.
Oh, dude, 100%, man. Like, just the presence of just the overall presence of you being a father figure for somebody. I have so many in baseball, out of baseball. At some point in my life, just being an upstanding man, just in general, is one of the biggest parts of fatherhood. And kids can see that. Like I was telling Polly before, like I mentor a few of these young guys in the game of baseball that look like me, and just being able to be relied upon and them looking up to me for my character, for how I'm so available or I'm so helpful to them when they need it. Like I'm 30 years old. These kids are 20, 19. So clearly I'm not their father, but they almost look up to me as a somewhat of a figure because of my presence, because of my stance. Exactly. And I'm a vessel. Like I'm a vessel, and I finally feel like I'm like who my mom raised me to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's so influential. It doesn't have to be your own kids, like you said. And it's such a big thing, especially in the Black community, I feel, because there are times where you don't have them. There are times they get taken away early. There are always times that you might not have a great household, but at the end of the day, man, being around people that are those vessels, are those influences, and us being able to, even just on this call, get all of us together is influential to the max. Because I mean, dog, it's just your strength and fortitude to continue to do what you do after that happening. Not many people could do it, and then let alone talk about it. And that's one of my things, bro. You gave me strength out the ass.
Yeah. Go ahead, Paulie.
I'm gonna jump in. I ain't really jumped in, you guys. I know y'all.
Go ahead.
I know y'all will get to rolling. I know y'all will get rolling for a while, but you know, looking at both of you here and understanding how much of a pillar both of you guys are in my life personally, but also, you know, worldwide. nationwide. And I'm really thinking about the evolution of each of you, right? And when you say, as you progressed, and Bruce, you mentioned becoming the man that your mother raised you to be, becoming the man that you would like to be. And I see that very much similar in Jake, and then also in myself. You feel me? Like at this point in our lives, the evolution of this man, and this man being myself, you, and Jake, and where that is leading to right now. And I'm looking at a couple of different spectrums of mental health. I'm looking at, spirituality. I'm looking at professionalism as far as your business endeavors. And then I'm looking at just your heart. And the evolution of all of us has come at a time and after some of the darkest times of our life. And knowing, what I'm saying, obviously, bro, how we grew up and our stories, and then learning Bruce's story it's taken me on my own ride, because, I've seen dark moments before this, but, and you thought it would only go up from there, but then it drops down at year 30 or year, 27, or, and so now to see us hit that spot and then start to rise up mentally, it's a beautiful thing. And I constantly have to reiterate to both of you, even though, you guys have seen the magnitude of how people are, coming towards you guys and saying, thank you for doing this. But I think I still always have to say to y'all how major you guys have established yourselves and established, the energy that you give out to the world when it comes to, you sit here and say to Jacob, hey, that strength was crazy that you gave me. And it's true. First time I talked to Bruce, I mean, the man was wired because he just felt so much power and energy coming from us. And that energy I got from you, bro. So like the way it funneled through from Bruce as well. You remember the first time I told you about Bruce. You know what I'm saying?
Be available to do that if you didn't save my life one day when I couldn't swim, dog. So it's crazy how things work is what I'm saying. You saying I'm becoming a pillar. He's a pillar. It's no type with things that happen, man. Things happen for a reason. Things doesn't the Big Bang. Bang, bang, bang. That's all it was. Wasn't no Big Bang theory. All that does not exist. Things happen for a reason. And when we start to accept that, we'll be able to roll different, breathe different, evolve different.
I feel it, man. My mom always used to tell me coincidences. The only time you have a coincidence is when you're on a path that you're not supposed to be on, because whatever happens to you ain't supposed to happen.
Straight up.
And it directs you right back to the path you're supposed to be on, because it's a shell shock. It could be unfortunate. It could be fortunate, whatever. But I've never believed in coincidences, because if I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, every happening is it's either beneficial or it's something that you can learn from.
Exactly.
It's huge. Exactly. This wasn't no coincidence, not even close.
So talking about the effects of kids and neighborhoods and, becoming a father figure for certain kids and just investments in our children, you know what I mean? And when I mean investments, I don't mean monetarily. I mean investments mentally and giving these kids something to believe in, and that's themselves. I was talking to a friend of mine, Jerron Dorsey, Rock, shout out to Rock. And he ran into a kid that, used to play basketball in a Mason League that just got started by William Royster. And when they started that league, big shout out to Will Royster, he's doing things too. And and Ryan Frazier as well. But we was putting in, they're putting these kids in situations where they're not having a chance to be out doing whatever. They playing ball at parks that we grew up at. And this kid stopped coming. And when this kid stopped coming, my boy Rock, saw him around and asked him, why is it that you're not coming anymore? You know what I'm saying? He like, man, I got some real serious, leg issues, and it's like I'm gonna need therapy, and he stepped up, to make a long story short, and got this kid therapy, and figured out how much it would cost, and told him to call me on Monday. He said, call me on Monday. The kid called him on Monday, and followed up. He said, okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go up to the therapy center. I want you to ask them XYZ. Boom, kid following up. He went, he paid for the situation. And those are the type of investments that we have into these kids. And it's not about the money. He first wanted to see if the kid was invested. Then,
like you said,
took the steps.
In that child is hope. You put hope inside that child. It's not about the money, man. It's about just the simple fact of somebody caring. That's one of the reasons why these kids is out here shooting like they doing, bro, because there's no love. Unfortunately, people having kids out of wedlock, and it might end up not being somebody there to care for you. But there's people out here that you do not even know. Don't give up. You can't give up, man. You can't give up. Giving up is
easy.
Honestly, it's like impossible for you to give up, because if you give up, you're gonna be out on the street, and then it's still gonna be hard. Then what you gonna do? Kill yourself? Then comes hell.
Yeah, and that's what
how many I've thought about killing myself every day for the last year. It's popped in my head. Suicide. Go ahead, kill yourself, Jake. Get it over with. I'm not giving up, because as soon as that thought comes in, I'm like, but what about all the stuff I'm leaving behind? I think about everybody else before I think about myself.
I gotta get into that real quick. I gotta jump into that real quick. I know you
giving up is not an option, is what I'm gonna say. And these children, bro, there is no reason why I can find at least 10 different bars to go to real easy, but I can't find a good school, a good after school program, good daycare for my kids. I can find liquor stores all over the place.
You may not remember, bro, but the first thing you said to me when I called you, you was in the hospital still, is you started asking about everybody else, because you knew what I was up to. You knew I was, making sure everybody was cool. But that's a true testament to what you just said. When you think about giving up, you think about everybody else. And that's just this common nature of yourself. A lot of the people listening, they don't know who you are, but that's one thing that they need to know, is your natural nature is to think about the people around you. And that's what I've seen.
Bro, I feel you, and I resonate heavy with that, because I almost took my life a few times, and the number one thing was like, what about my mom? What about my sister? What about my homies? Like my actual friends?
Everybody. What about everybody?
Like, why would I give up? Why would I give up and give up on them? I was like, instead, and then I tell people my story about my suicide attempt. And I tell them, I was like, it was like, man, I shot behind me, and it was like God came through the ceiling, and he was like sat down next to me, and he was like, now that we got that out of the way, you ready to fight or what?
We was like, moved your head to the side real quick. Man, yeah. Even know.
And the set of armor he gave me, man, that laid down on my bed, it was unmatched. I still got those days, like you said.
Unmatched, right?
And now that's my fuel. Do I have bad days? Hell yeah, I know you do. But it's like, at the same time, I'm like, man,
you know what? There's no such thing as a bad day.
Yeah.
no such thing as a bad day. Every day is good. Every day is another day to fight. I have taken that out of my mind. There's no such thing as a bad day. And I'm teaching my kids that too, because they keep calling me, Daddy, I had a bad day.
Perception.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're gonna do better tomorrow. Every day is a new day to try to do better. I don't care what your situation is.
I just told Polly, every day you wake up with a choice.
There are so many people in this world. You can't just be, you're not the only one. And I'm not taking nothing from nobody. Sometimes you are not the only one going through what you're going through. And if it takes for you to be like, oh, there's somebody out there, and even try to reach out to them if possible. Even if you could just read a, dog, you know what helped me? Just seeing people from different circumstances that lost their legs and started walking again. Just seeing that. And it's not a small thing, but just seeing that it's possible. And then knowing who God is, I've already turned to him. When I laid on my back, bro, I did not cry for my life. I did not cry at all. I pleaded for my kids to be taken care of with the love that I would be absent from giving them. Of course, first, I repented for my sins. And everybody got a whole lot of them. I don't care what you've done, what you've said, how you've done it, where you've been. When you repent and ask for forgiveness for your sins.
You know, Jacob, how does it feel? You know, it's different. You said, you know, you've been the one, ain't nobody like us. But for you, it's really true because nobody's lived to really tell their story like you. And that's what makes this different. That's what makes this a lot different. And the fucked up thing is we don't want nobody else to even, I don't want to say live to tell their story because we don't want that story for nobody else. And we don't want it to continue.
We don't want it to continue. And it's continued, dog.
But how do you get thinking about though the fact that you are one of the lone survivors through something like this? What goes through your mind? What are some of the thought processes? You know what I'm saying? Just take me on that ride.
Ooh.
Take me on that ride.
That's a long ride, bro.
We got to get Bruce in there, but take me on a ride. Because you was on a lonely road too, Bruce. You was
bro,
on a
I remember from the time the bullets hit me to the point where I hit the emergency room, I was begging for the gas. I was begging for them to put me to sleep. People think that I was drunk and this and that, and I felt everything. Every punch, kick, tase, bullet. When they pulled me out the front seat, my body hit the ground. Because they ain't know they hit me in my spine till they rolled me over. And then they didn't want to touch me no more. Yeah. It's crazy, dog. It's heavy. It's real heavy. And then I don't know what made them really give me they gave me a shirt. Somebody made a shirt. I love it. It was nice. I didn't need it then, but it was a shirt with my face on it. With not even a chunk of the names of people who've been brutally murdered. Because, dog, had I died, that would have been like, I beat the man, tased him, and shot him. It would have been a lot worse. I think so. And this is not a threat. I'm saying, like, people would feel a lot worse. And I understand now when people keep saying I'm a hero and this and that, because I didn't like that at first. I didn't like it.
You didn't.
But I understand, and I'll accept it. I've had people break it down to me about 4 or 5 different times, like really break it down to me. And for people that don't know me to feel like that, and it's not because I'm a and not knocking you, because I love baseball. And had I still had time to be in it, I'd probably be looking up to you. I'd probably be a fan. And I still am a fan and still haven't watched you because you played baseball. But for people to look at me for that, because I survived and because I kept fighting, so that was another reason for me to keep going. Not just my kids. That was fuel. God, he's driving the bus. Everybody is getting on the bus, and don't think about a bus with 12 seats on each side. Look at yourself the size of a little rice bean or something. And there's enough room for everybody, but everybody ain't gonna want to go. There's people that's so hard, their hearts are so hardened, dude, so much hatred that they just won't want to go. They ain't gonna be, they're gonna say so much about this interview that we're doing, the podcast that we're gonna keep doing, everything. They talk about us if we doing good or bad. So I'm at the point where I do not care. Say what you gonna say. I've almost driven myself crazy, bro, for the last year, watching myself basically killed over and over again. I've been watching my city go up in flames. Chicago, everybody think I'm from Wisconsin. I mean, big ups to Wisconsin because they was behind me for sure. But I'm from Chicago, man. North side. Evanston and Chicago, bro. We the end of the line. You go from Evanston to the Hunnits. We the end of the line. It start in Evanston and it ends on what, 95th? We are a dog. So everything that we're doing, and I know, like I said, I'm going to get off. It's so much to be talked about, bro. We can be pillars. Let us be pillars, and let us be the people that are somewhat like shepherds, or the people, ushers. We can usher people onto the bus. Let us usher people into the right direction.
And that's the part of the edification, man. Shout out to Edifying All-Star Advocacy. Yeah. You know, I had to give that little shout out right there in the middle. Bruce, man, how was it being on an island? You know, I feel like Jay, you may not know, but I feel like Bruce was on an island by himself when he did that, more than anything. And you know, you would think there'd be a lot of solidarity right away, but to put it in the context, he did this back when it wasn't cool to kneel. You know, he did this before the whole leagues were, you know, talking about it and doing it as an inaugural thing at the beginning of the season. He did this. He was the first guy to do this. You know what I mean? So, I mean, take us a little bit through that experience.
Yeah. How did that feel? Because I want to know. I do. Because for you to be sitting right here and you can smile and go in the direction that you're going, it is amazing. And the world needs to know it. I want to know it. We want to know it. And we're going to use it to our advantage.
It was rough, man. I felt like I was on an island with no resources, no phone, no way off, really. Because everywhere I turned, there was N-words here. I hope you die in a house fire here. I'm going to find your family and kill them here. I'm going to find your sister wherever she's at, and I'm going to blow her gym up because my sister was out coaching basketball. I mean, and it was just dark, bro. Like, it was dark, dude. I was like, I was always raised to stand up for what was right, regardless if it had to do with me or regardless if it had to do with my neighbor, regardless if it had to do with a bus driver or whatever. Like, I was raised to stand up for what's right, and that's it. It didn't matter if I was near and it was wrong. I stood up for that person, or if that happening. And so to do that and be the only one, and then as time went on, like people stopped reaching out, supposed teammates, friends, didn't hear from them for years, dude. Like there's still guys I came up through the system with that I haven't spoken to. And we started our journey together, dude. I've been playing baseball for 10 years, dog. And I still haven't heard from them from that time. And I mean, it's just, it was rough, dog, because I didn't even know what I was supposed to feel really. But I did know this. I didn't want to go out into the world because I felt like the whole fucking world hated my ass. And it was never about the purpose. Like everybody kept missing the point. Like, and I told people in interviews after, man, I said I have better posture on a knee than most people do in the stands for the national anthem for a baseball or a sporting event. I say, because if you're standing on that line and you're looking around, you got people on their phones, you got people walking on the concourses, you got people talking to each other. And I was like, and I mean, so it's just like the how we prevent, you know, this from happening in the future, especially at this alarming rate, is doing things like this, but at the same time, do it in a way that's gonna get to other people. Because at the end of the day, especially as a Black community, the only way we can get shit done is together. And that's, but we also have to change the way our community looks at things. We have to change the way that everybody looks at things. And as a people, we have to show the rest of our country the fact that the most important thing we have is humanity. Ain't no amount of money, ain't no like cars, ain't no where you live, how expensive your clothes are. None of that is more important than the fact of faith in humanity. Because at the end of the day, our higher power created humanity and humans created racism. Period. Humans created racism. Period. This shit wasn't natural. This wasn't natural. And so it's just like our society is so damaged when it comes to perception of people that we have also adapted the notion of neglecting and degrading people on where they're from, where they live, how they dress, how they talk, not understanding the fact that we're all brothers and sisters. Don't matter what you look like. I was like, and that's the thing. With us doing this and us talking to you, Jacob, and talking to the other people that'll be down on later, we're trying to broaden this as much as possible and spread this as much as possible so many people can see this and understand the fact that everything that this podcast is about and our guest is about treating people fairly. It's about caring about people. And it starts from us, because guess what? If we get enough of us together, then we can start changing it from bottom to top. Because as weird as this may sound, we the people in our Constitution, it's not we the persons.
Exactly.
People, humanity is a people. Don't matter where the hell.
It sounds weird because that's what it is today, and that's not how it's supposed to be.
Oh man, that's
why it sounds weird.
And that's the thing, man.
But it's about we the people, because I don't know. I think we forgot. It seems like, I ain't gonna say we because we haven't forgotten, obviously.
No, we as a people have forgotten for sure.
Yeah.
And it ain't just in our community.
I'll take part of the blame. You know what? And me as a man, I'll take some of the blame because I'm not waking up until now at 30 years old.
Yeah.
But hey, at least I am.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing, man. That's the importance of this. That's the drive for this, because everybody has a story. But at the end of the day, if you can't sit back and look at yourself and put your own ego aside, your own personal feelings aside, and try and empathize and try to relate to your neighbor, regardless of what we're talking about, your faith in humanity is already gone.
Exactly.
And that's what it is, dude. Like, I treat everybody with respect until you lose it. It ain't got shit to do with what you look like, how you talk, how much money you got. I personally don't care. I was like, but if you're a shitty person, then you're gonna be a shitty person.
Straight up.
And the unfortunate situation of that is a lot of those shitty people hold power in our country. End of the day, or they got badges on, or whatever it is. I've been waiting to talk to you, dog, for almost a year now, man. Like, your brother reached out to me, which was a shocker to me, period. Because I haven't been able to like really connect with a lot of people like over the time. And I mean, it's an overall honor, dog, to see the way you talk, to see the way how optimistic you are about your days, and just to see your thought process, because so many people that let shit that's minimalistic compared to what happened to you, like you said, ruin their day, ruin their week, ruin their years, blame other people, point fingers elsewhere. And to see you stand and to see you fight and continue and also do it in a positive and uplifting manner, bro, it's a fucking blessing, dog. It's a blessing for me, for my days, I mean everything, dog. It's an absolute honor to be speaking with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Like, that right there is the reason why I do what I do and what I've been doing. Because I mean, like, when I say I'm just now waking up, that means to the word of God.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just now waking up to. I've been trying to help out in any way I can. You know, Kenosha doesn't know me, but people have seen me around. You know, like I said, I was doing armed security at bars around Kenosha. You know, right on the other side of Illinois' border. I'm not from poor, but you know, I've just been trying to uplift people. So I think that's another reason why this hit people so hard, bro, because I've been all over. I went to school. I graduated from 5th grade in North Carolina. I went to school in New Jersey for a little while. So, and I just went to Vegas last year. So people they see my face. Yeah. So like you said, after seeing that, how I'm handling it, I guess, is helping people. It's helping me as well, knowing that it is helping somebody and keeping somebody in the game. One of my friends was going to kill himself. Had I died, he'd be dead too. No, because where he's at, he could pull the plug.
For sure.
And had I died, he probably would have been gone.
And that's what you talked about earlier, is giving somebody hope.
Hope.
Just about how you go about your business and how you fight. Because at the end of the day, life is war, man. Survival of the fittest. But if you don't know who you are, you don't have a purpose, you're not going to survive very long.
And you really, when you're ready to find out who you are, you have to reach out for God and Jesus Christ. I mean, people can call me crazy, call me lame. I don't care, man, because I know where I've been. I know what I've seen. I've tried to do things my way all the time, and I've tried good ways. I thought I was doing things good.
Yeah.
But God he took this as, I guess, like Jake, show him how to love.
He's the North Star, brother.
How to be strong. He's remorseful.
Exactly.
So all love of God. He want to see everybody do good. He don't tempt nobody. He's not a tempting God. He does not do that. That comes from the flesh, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We have to learn how to whatever. We can't, like people say, you're not crazy until you act on your thoughts. Like when you thinking of crazy stuff, we can't. You cannot stop yourself from thinking that type of crazy stuff. But as soon as you think it, repent for it. Exactly. Repent for it. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And if this isn't a Bible, but I got plenty of them, they come in different sizes, bro. And this is something that's so important to me because today, everybody, are we recording? Mm-hmm. Is this recorded? Because today, everybody is so selfless. They're thinking about, well, I'm going through this and this ain't working for me and he's got this or they got that and they doing this. It's sickening today. Yep. Sickening today. Everybody wants followers. Everybody wants this. Everybody wants that. But everybody wants their story read, their timeline read. Exactly. Nobody's reading God's story. Not enough people. Yeah. Nah, man, that's big, dog. That's big. Dude, first of all, like I said, we're going to close this down. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate you, brother, on so many levels. I appreciate you coming in and talking with us, man, just sharing your thoughts, your ideas, your inspirations, your struggles, all of those things. We have to go. I appreciate everybody tuning into this, and thank you for sticking along with all these episodes and our further episodes coming after this. So Jacob, again, thank you so much, brother. And take care, man. We'll be in touch. Hey, love. Let me know, man. Anytime. All right, brother. Love.